This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day, end of the week here. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. We'll take a look at the indexes, which are nice and green. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with the Baker Hughes rig count. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation advice on stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin daily and weekly chart. And I can see here how we put this big red candle in yesterday, and that's what we're basically trading in. So what we have is that inside day, your high and low is the inside of the previous day's high and low. So on the downside, what you're watching is this today's low 109.270, yesterday's low, which can be very, very key at 108.555, and then we're going to have that retest at 107.790 level. On the upside here, this is what we're looking for, is that 100-day at that 111.459 level. Then we come up to the bottom of that candle right there at 111.970 level. But really what we're looking for here is right there at that 113.272. That's your 21-day. And then we have your 8-day right above it at 113.461. Now, if we crack above that, we're going to come to the top of that candle, 114.90 level. Then we come to the bottom there, look at 114.635, 114.850. But then we're really looking for is that 115.276. That is your 50 SMA. Now, we get above that. It would come up top of this candle. You're looking at 117.240. We just march our right on up here. You're looking at 117.685, 117.795. But realistically, this is looking for that retest at 118.295 level. Okay, so really big targets you're looking for is watch yesterday's low. We lose that, you got to go right to this 107 level here. Upside, that 100-day. We get above that, we got the 21-day sitting right there. We have the 8-day sitting there. We have the 50-day sitting there. Then we have your retest there at 118. Now, 43, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red, shows momentum to the downside, which obviously we have going on here. Okay, so when you look at this here, you have it's not really a true thing, it's not easy to see, but what it is you have this big, like a sell-off here in a big blanket pole. He ran up here almost like a bear flag situation, and then pow all the way on down. Now remember, at Monday start, we had about $1.5 billion in sales in Bitcoin. That was selling off, and that really triggers everything else. And then what it is, and then $22 billion worth of options coming into play here. So that's why, Bitcoin is coming down. But, I wouldn't have no fear with it. To me, just look for buying opportunity. Now, we're sitting here right on this 21-day. We'll have to see how it closes. But you really need to hold this 111.330 level. By the close, that would be good. Because then we had that nice 4 weeks of holding it. We want to get back up there if we can. We aim for that 114.444 level, and then we just ride it right on up here, 117.320, 118.295, and then we can rally all the way up to that 125.200. So we got to be a little bit patient here with this. Okay, so right now here we have this. It's downtrending here, kind of a situation. The green below your red, so it shows momentum at the downside. But just watch that 21-day, very, very key. Very, very bullish chart. Price come all the way down to 50-day. Still a very, very bullish chart. Low, higher low, and higher low. Even if it got that down to that 50-day. Bottom left, upper right looks very, very good here. Yes, just be a little bit patient. Now, I traded with BITX. And that's actually green today. You can go IBIT, that's green, and then you can go BITI. Yesterday I did a video on that if you want to do a little short scheme. If we lose this key level right here, 107.790, then I would do a short ski like I did right here on this situation. Okay, so again, it's always a two-way trade no matter how you look at it. Okay, let's look at here at gold and silver. Here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, again, you can see a really, really nice, good trading here. As I always said here, if it's above that 8-day, we have sideways to up kind of an action. Now, you can see here how the 8-day is holding it very, very nicely. So just watch that 8-day, 37.53. That's going to be very, very key. We lose that, we come to the top of that candle, 37.39. We come to the bottom there. You're looking at 37.18. Then we have that 36.81. That's going to be key. And then we have this double bottom situation at that 36.60. That's going to be very, very key. But just watch that 8-day. Long as we're above it, sideways to up here, because what we did is we ran right up here nicely, consolidation, ran up here, and now we have another consolidation. Okay, so what we're looking for, today's high, we got 38.14. We look to the left there, 38.12. That's the retest is what we're looking for. Now, next level is going to be that 38.24. We crack above that, it's going to be 38.50, 3900, and 39.20. Eventually, I think they want to take this right to about 5,000. You can kind of like sense it, kind of situation. So for me, I just use the GLD for a trade. Really working very, very nice. You can see the strength there in the RSI. Yeah, this is the overbought condition, no question about it. But that doesn't mean it can't stay overbought. The situation, the green is over red, good momentum. Again, as long as that 8-day holds, we're going to go sideways to up action on the old gold. Okay, silver, this was actually a very, very good trade today. I jumped in the SLV, and we got up to 46.94. So if we were down here level, I said we're going to go to that 45 level, and then we're going to go march right up to that, you got 46, 47, but I think you're going to take it up to that 50 level. The round numbers are kind of, just want to, if I say like 47, it's not going to get exactly 47. You're always going to come within that little bit of a range kind of a situation. The same way here, I said about 38.20, came in at 38.24. You're dealing with such a high number. It's not like you're dealing with a $10 stock here kind of a situation, okay? So right now, this silver was a really nice, good trade on the SLV. I'm all out of it now, okay? I just took the trade today. I took no trade in the gold there today, but I took a nice trade here in the silver, and this has worked out very, very nice. But now, again, we're outside these price channels, so just look to the past. When you get to the price channel, it wants to come in and consolidate. Outside the price channel, come on and consolidate. Outside the price channel, consolidate. So now we're way out of these price channels. Let's see if she wants to pull right back again. But realistically, my target here is $50 here on the old silver. Downside is watch yesterday's high, 45.50 level. We'll come down top of this candle right there. You're looking at 47.77, and realistically, you're looking at that 44.05 level. As long as this price is above that 8-day, it's going to be sideways to up action. We lose that 8-day, we have the 21-day, we have your 50 SMA here. Now, we get into an overbought condition here. This will probably pull back here next week. And again, if it pulls back and consolidates, that's still always very good. The green is over your red. This is still looking very bullish, but we are at nosebleed kind of a situation on this. It isn't like a gold where we have a nice, good, smooth action. We have action here, and then to just power right to that 80 mark, and that shows that's going to be kind of like an overbought condition. So just be a little bit careful. I sold off out of my SLV because I just day trade the GLD and the SLV. I'm not really what you call a big gold or silver trader. I like the crude oil, natural gas, gasoline, Bitcoin, and anything in tech kind of a situation, especially TQQ, which is nice, clean basket of everything. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude and natural gas. Okay, there was really good trades in both of these here today. Okay, so crude oil, you can see here how this is a really nice, good trade. And this is what we're looking for, is this top of that 66.03, which is basically this is the top of that candle. Okay, so it shot right above that. We got as high as 66.42, but you notice that it couldn't hold it here so far. Okay, now we've had a really good run off the bottom here. We're holding this 61.45. See, 61.45, 61.45, and we held this here, 61.69. Then we have this 61.61. But then this candle here was the key because it came down, made a higher low, and then we cracked above that top of that candle at that 63 flat, and then knocked on a nice good run up here. So I've been just trading the UCO here on the long side kind of a situation, and this has been working out very, very nicely. So what we're looking on the upside is at 66.03, and then we go here to today's high at 66.42. Then we're really looking for that 66.85 level. Now, if we can get above that, then our next target is going to be right here at 67.74, and then we'll come to the bottom there at that 68.45 level. Then we come on top of that candle at that 69.59 level, and then we come right on top there at that 70.51 level. Okay, that's what we're looking now. Again, anytime you have any kind of a disruption or something, and you got a lot of geopolitics going on there in the whole world, I should say, and that's what really sends oil up much higher. Now remember, oil's in play here for at least for the second week of October. So we got to see how this all going to shake out here. Now remember, we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I said it's going to the 200-day. That's what we want. This was that war, okay? This is what I'm talking about. You had a $10 premium going on here when Israel and Iran situation, and this is why we had this run up here. It's not like you have some kind of the demand issue kind of go. It's geopolitics, any kind of disruption that always sends oil. That's why I like trading oil, because it's always in play. Okay, but now when you look at this candle, it got like a topping tail candle, and we got above it, but we couldn't hold that 66.03. So that's what we're going to be trading at. So when those futures open on Sunday night, this is what you're going to be looking at. You're going to be trading against this candle right here at 66.42 at 64.66 level. Now, on the downside here, you're going to watch top of that candle there. You're looking at 65.34 level, and then we're going to come top of there. You're looking at 65.05. But realistically, this is what we're looking for, is that 100-day at 64.73, and that's your key support. 64.39 50-day key support. and then we have your 8-day 63.91, and then we have your 21-day at 63.62 level. But we have a good, really nice, good run up here. But we do have like a W pattern, so we got to see how that's going to shake out here next week if we can get back above that 66.03. But for me, it's a really, really good a two-way trade kind of a situation. That's how I look at this. I use UCO for the long, SCO for the short, and these are really, UCO is 24, 29. You can easily go in there by 5,000 shares. SCO, hell, I usually you can go 5,000 shares, sometimes 8,000 shares on that there, and then you can always make some easy money. It doesn't take much. Okay, if you got 5,000 shares, all you need is, okay, it goes 30 cents, you got $1,500, just like that. That's just off of one item that you're trading there. So it makes a really, really great day then. Okay, so bottom line, you want to watch is that 100-day and that 50-day. That's going to be key. We lose it, you got the 8-day and the 21-day. Upside here, watch that 66.03. You crack above that, then we got that 66.85. We crack above that, we follow the candles, but realistically, your big target is going to be that 70.51. Now, 58, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is going over your red here. This looks like it just might want to push higher, but this is a little concerning because you got above it, but you notice it couldn't close above it. Okay, Natgas looks like, yeah, she's taking right off. Remember, this was the contract roll. That's why she gapped up. So what we're watching on the downside, we're watching right here, that 3.19 level. Okay, we lose it. Well, now we just do everything in reverse of what we did on the upside. 3.16, okay, 3.13, 3.10, and then we have 3.05. And then we start getting into your three flat. That's your 21-day. We have that 299, which is your 50-day, and then we have your 8-day right below that at that 2.95. But remember, just watch the bottom of this candle. That's going to be key. That's 3.12, and then the top of that candle is 2.96. Your gap and your fill. A lot of times those gaps and fills wants to get filled. Now this gap here never got filled, but we had a nice good double bottom. See where we hit that 2.77. Then we retested it here with 2.77. Okay. Now then, if that was lost, then we hit the gap at 274, and you can come down to 262. But right now here, we're just sitting here, a hangman up here, and he's just kind of sitting there and kind of throws the charts off a little bit here, because it just kind of gapped up, and it shows that the RSI is stronger than what it is. This green is over your red, but realistically, you got to be, take that contract roll into consideration. Now, if it keeps moving up here, this is what you want to look at, is that 3.26 level. That is your 100-day SMA here. Then what we do is we come right on top of this candle here, right there. You're looking at 3.330 and 3, and then we look at 3.38, the bottom of that candle. Okay, 3.40. Then we're looking for that 200-day at 3.48 if it keeps right on running up to the situation. Now, natural gas, I really believe that natural gas is going to be a really big player down the road here, because when you're looking at all this AI, okay, you're looking at this AI, so, well, you got to have something that's going to power it. And realistically, again, like I say, you got wind, you got solar, you got nuclear, and then you also have fusion, but fusion is only good in just certain areas. I know we have a place here in Michigan that does have the fusion, which is basically in Ludington, Michigan, and they have the fusion where they can generate the power, but you got to have a specific place and all this kind of stuff. It's not, you can't just do it all over. Then you got wind and solar kind of situation, but you also have to look at the reliability of it. Nuclear, it's like, yeah, I love it, but it's clean, but not my backyard kind of a situation. That's how it is. So really, natural gas, I think, is going to be the key. And you start building out, this AI structure here down the road for the next 5-10 years, you're going to need some major power. And I just think natty gas is going to be the ticket. Okay, let's take a look here at this Ethereum ETF, which I keep forgetting every freaking time. Okay, here we have the Ethereum ETF, UTHU. Now, I keep forgetting about this because I only do it once a day, okay? I usually do the Bitcoin and the gold and the silver and all that kind of stuff. But here it is, okay? So right now we made this low on the bottom here of that 109.21 level. So we really came right into this kind of a support level right here, okay? Now, if you go lower than that, then realistically, you want to hit these targets down here. Looking at that 105 area, we have 102 area, and then we're going to come right down here at that 101 area and in 96 level. Now, you can see here where we have this, we have a green candle with a higher low and a higher high, which is always very good. So, but we have these gaps. So what you want to do is watch today's candle, 124.67, and then you want to watch the bottom of that candle at 130.43, your gap and your fill, okay? Then we look to the top of that candle, you're looking at 135.80, there's your gap. And then we have your 8-day right there, 137. We have your 140, your 50-day. We have your 21-day at 144.82. And then we have that fill area at 150.22 level, okay? So always look at that gap, that fill. This gap right here now, a little higher, in that fill. But always watch that 8-day, 21-day, and that 50-day. That's going to be very, very crucial. Now you can see here it never really got to an oversold condition, and we're coming right back up here. The green is still below your red because we had this big drop off. Now, when you look at here on the weekly chart, came down real nice, and we're holding that 50-day. Okay, look how nice that is. See, we're holding that 106, and we're holding that 101 level. That's very, very good. And now we have a nice, good bottoming tail here on the weekly chart. So this might be very, very interesting here to get in. So what you want to do is just watch that Ethereum here, like on Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? And Monday, watch this here, because maybe you could just take a nice trade here from the top of that candle, 124.67, at least to that gap fill at 130, okay? That's what you get. If you get yourself a nice good 5 points out of that, that would be awesome. And then maybe run up to that 8-day, 50-day, 21-day, and then we have that gap fill. So again, if we can go all the way to that, from the top of that candle at 124, we can come all the way up to that bottom there at 150. And that would be a really nice, good trade on the upside. So you just keep your eye on this here. This looks like here it might be a turnaround. The same way with Bitcoin. Just because you have a big sell, to me, I don't always look at that. I mean, I did a little short ski on the Bitcoin yesterday. Yeah, and that worked out good. But I'm always looking for opportunity, okay? I like on the buying thing. I just think Bitcoin is going to go higher. Ethereum is going to go higher. And I just think when you look at like the October time frame, that's usually really good for the Bitcoin kind of a situation here. So just have a little patience, and I think we could maybe take this back higher, at least a good trade up into these gaps and these fills. All right, now let's look at the indexes. Okay, we had the big sell-off here, okay, and I still think this is so very, very toppy situation, okay? So this is basically, I still say this is a trader's market, all right? So you can see yesterday we came around down, but you notice that we held that 21-day. See, that's why I call this the catch-all. So when you lose that 8-day, okay, situation, and as it's moving up, it came down there, caught it very nice, and now look at today, right above, back above that 8-day. So downside, watch that 8-day, then watch that 21-day. We lose that. We have a lot of support here, but realistically, your big target is going to be that 50 SMA here. Now, the upside to here, you're looking at that 46,351. This is your next target area right here, 46,453. Then obviously the retest. But we do have a big topping tail, so just got to see how this is all going to shake out here, like a next week situation. But yeah, you got to be a little bit careful up here. This is still a very, very toppy market. Same way here. Okay, look at the S&P came down, but I held the 21-day. Now we lose it. Just watch on the downside. Just watch that 20-day. We lose that. You're going to go to the 50-day. We're going to go down to the retest down here at that 36.60. Upside, we have to get back above that 8-day. You do, and then we're going to come right to the top of that candle, 66.72, and then we can retest it all the way here, that 66.99.52 level. Okay, so when we were down here, I said that they really just want to push us at 6,700, and I came in within 48 cents, so that's really not that bad. Again, when you say 6,700, I mean 48 cents. That's pretty damn good, okay? So anyway, this is your retest. You crack above that, then obviously you're going to go to, a 67.50 and 6,800. But just be careful in this kind of like a time frame. We really need a good sell-off, but you notice how nice it held on this situation here, okay? So a lot of times what you want to do is, just run up and come down, run up, come down. But eventually what happens is when these candles come up here, and it won't make a higher high, and then when she sells, she can sell down pretty hard. But right now, I just think you have a good, real situation here of a very, very toppy markets all the way through. So just trade this market. Use stop losses, put money in your freaking pocket. That's the key. That's what I do, and that's how I make a really damn good living doing it. Okay? So here on the downside, we never made it to the 21-day, but obviously just watch that 21-day. You lose that, you make the 50-day, and then we come down here, all the way down to your retest. Upside, you got to get back above that 8-day. That's going to be key. Then we can retest that level right there, that 22,657. Then we come up there at 22,801. You crack above that, I think you're going to take that easy. It could be 23,000, 23,500. You could take it up to 24,000 there. But again, just be very, very careful because these markets are very, very a toppy situation. It's not going to take much, for that to come down and come down hard. But right now we got so much FOMO going on here that people are afraid that they're going to miss out. But, your buy point was down here when nobody wanted this, okay? And when everybody was knocking the T-man and says, you're destroying the markets and you're doing this, you do this, that was your buying opportunity because, see, look at this, overbought. That was your opportunity to go there, man. I really tripled what in my money here just doing that is when you look at that VIX and you see when that VIX spikes up to 60, that's when you want to get into the market. When you got that fear and nobody else wants to get in there, that's when you get in. Now you're basically just trading, but you get something that's going to take this over the edge, and this could come off real far. Now again, this can go higher. Don't get me wrong. This 46 can go to 47,000. That can go to 6,800. This here can go to 24,000. Very easy. But this is just a trader's market. You can see how they're stepping up. Just keep trading it, but you're at nosebleed situations here. Okay, so again, this is not a buy and hold. This is just a trader's market. And then I say, use stops. Put money in your freaking pocket. That's how you want to do it. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here Sunday night, and we're going to look at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look at the NQ, which is up here at 98 here today so far. We'll have to see how everything closes. And then over the weekend, I posted that seasonality chart situation there for you again. Just take a peek, ski at it. Just that way you can always keep fresh here every couple of weeks here. You can see exactly what seasonality and what happens here over the next till the end of the year. All right, have a great weekend, and I'll see you Sunday night. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.